in Northern California. He wrote The Myth of Male Power, which is a great book, and his new book, The Boy Crisis, is amazing. It's all about the crisis of fatherless homes and what it does to young boys who aren't able to grow into men.
Cool.
And Sean Smith, and he's incredible, clinical psychologist.
And what does he teach?
He teaches, well, right now he's pushing back on the American Psychological Association's guidelines that are basically anti-men and boys, saying things like stoicism and aggression are defined as universally toxic and bad, when these are qualities that men need to succeed in some sense in the world. So you're teaching boys that to be stoic and to keep their emotions under control is bad, and they should be more comfortable crying in public. And yeah, that may seem good from a political standpoint, but it just makes weak men. And so that's what the APA is trying to do. And so he's really outspoken about that.
Amazing. Renaissance of men. Well, what does that mean, and why do you believe that?
Many men today know about the manosphere, right? This sort of online space of male content creators, fitness leaders, and different sort of thought leaders in the space of masculinity. What a lot of men don't know is that the manosphere was preceded by several generations of men reflecting on masculinity. It started in the 1980s with the mythopoetic men's movement. Robert Bly, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, which we talked about earlier, that was the beginning of the men's consciousness ascension, you might say, the beginning of this cultural wave that's been propagating for 40 years. So that carried forward into the 90s, and the pickup artists, they sort of took up the mantle and started speculating on the nature of femininity and dating and sex. Those men got together and started comparing notes and realized, hey, some of the things that we've been told about women and men and women aren't right. And so that birthed the red pill community, which led to the manosphere. And now the manosphere is evolving into patriarchy, sovereignty. And so you can trace the beginning of this renaissance, this rebirth of men, all the way up from the 1980s until today with the return of the king, the return of the kings, as we're all ascending into our king consciousness of being, as you articulate so brilliantly. And that's happening through us as men. It's not happening around us. You can't look around and see it, but you can feel it. As men, we are being reborn. In their homes, they'll be leaders in their homes. They won't be followers. They won't be beasts of burden. They'll lead their families. They'll lead their wives to a happy relationship, a happy, fulfilled relationship where men and women honor each other. They'll lead kids into virtue, into righteousness, and to success and prosperity. That's just in the home. And in culture, we don't really know what it's going to look like because the culture is changing so rapidly around us. We as men ascending into our kings could change the culture in a positive direction. I really believe it comes down to us to begin taking not just America, but the world in the right direction. It depends on how the culture is going to receive that. They could look at the virtue that men are seeking to embody and decide, hey, we want to go along with that, or they could fight it. I think there'll be a fight, but I think we'll win.